This simple hunting trap may look like a cruel weapon meant to catch food in a deadly alien jungle, but it's not what you think, because the man who said it is not a monster at all, and the creature caught inside is not prey. When Henry checks his trap that morning, he expects fur, claws, maybe teeth. Instead, he finds an alien woman hanging helplessly in the net. Her violet skin glowing softly in the filtered sunlight, her golden eyes wide with terror. She truly believes he's going to eat her. She even begs him not to. The misunderstanding is shocking, awkward, and strangely funny, especially when she suddenly speaks perfect English and pleads for her life. Henry's muscular, bare-chested appearance only makes things worse in her mind, turning an ordinary survival tool into what she thinks is the start of a nightmare. But the moment he laughs, confused, surprised, and genuinely amused, the tension cracks. This supposed predator doesn't snarl or threaten her. He doesn't sharpen a blade or step closer with hunger in his eyes. Instead, he promises her safety and gently works to free her. What looked like danger turns into something unexpected: kindness, curiosity, and the beginning of a connection neither of them saw coming. The jungle stays wild and dangerous around them, but suddenly the real threat isn't the man standing below her. It's everything she thought she knew about humans. If this misunderstanding between them isn't resolved, the consequences won't stop with fear and embarrassment. In this world, mistakes get you killed. The jungle is full of real predators, and alien authorities are far more dangerous than beasts with claws. If she believes Henry is a savage monster, she may flee straight into death. If her people discover she has been captured by a human, they may assume the worst and respond with force. What begins as one frightened alien woman in a net could quickly become a rescue mission, then an armed intervention, and finally, a conflict neither species is ready for. The danger grows with every moment they spend together. First, it's personal: her life, his freedom, one wrong move, ending everything. Then it becomes institutional, as alien scientists and trackers search for her, ready to contain, study, or eliminate whatever threatens their own. And if the truth is twisted enough, the consequences could reach even further, turning fear into policy and curiosity into war. If Henry and the alien woman cannot understand each other soon, they won't just lose a chance at connection. They could lose their lives, their freedom, and maybe even the fragile peace between two entire species. Henry moves slowly, keeping his hands open and visible, careful not to scare her again. Up close, he can see how delicate she really is. How her skin shifts color with every emotion. Fear darkens it. Curiosity makes it glow. She watches every move he makes, tense, ready to scream or run if he does anything wrong. He talks calmly, explaining that the trap is for animals, not people, not aliens, not anyone who can speak and think. The idea clearly shocks her. In her world, humans are described as brutal hunters that eat anything they catch. Standing here, listening to him speak gently, she starts to doubt everything she was taught. When he finally lowers her from the net, she expects pain or restraint. Instead, she finds herself briefly held in strong arms that are surprisingly warm and careful. He sets her down immediately, stepping back to give her space. That simple act changes everything. She introduces herself, her voice still shaking, and explains she was running from deadly jungle predators when she fell into the trap. Henry realizes just how close she was to dying, and how strange fate is for bringing them together like this. He offers her shelter, food, and time to calm down, not as a captor, but as a host. Inside his small jungle cabin, the tension slowly shifts into curiosity. She looks around at the handmade furniture, the books, the strange mix of alien plants and human tools. This is not the savage den she imagined. Over warm herbal tea, she admits the truth. She is a scientist, sent to study humans from a distance. According to her people, humans are dangerous, aggressive, and barely civilized. Henry laughs, not offended but tired. He tells her about Earth, about rules, armies, and why he chose to live alone on this distant planet. The more they talk, the more the lies between their species fall apart. As the hours pass, curiosity turns into something deeper. She studies him openly, Fascinated by his strength, his scars, the way his body works, he notices how her skin responds. To emotion, how honesty makes it glow darker and warmer. There is tension, yes, but also trust growing quietly between them. For the first time in years, Henry doesn't feel alone. For the first time in her life, she sees a human as more than a dangerous subject of study. That fragile peace shatters. When distant engines hum through the jungle, her skin pales instantly. Her people are coming. Search teams, scanners, ships. If they find her here, they won't listen. They will take her away, label Henry a threat, and erase everything that just started between them. Panic rises, but Henry doesn't freeze. Hank's years of survival and military training kick in. He knows this jungle better than anyone. He knows where technology fails and nature wins. They flee together, moving through hidden paths into caves where scanners can't see, hiding while search parties pass overhead. Fear binds them closer than comfort ever could. She helps with her knowledge of alien tech. He helps with instinct and experience. Slowly, a plan forms. Humans don't win by being stronger or smarter than advanced civilizations. They win by being unpredictable, by embracing chaos, by turning weakness into advantage. As days pass in hiding, something changes between them. What began as survival turns into intimacy, then into love neither of them expected. And when her biology begins to change, when scanners start detecting something impossible, they realize the truth. Their connection has created something new, something no scientist ever planned for. A life that should not exist, but does. When the alien authorities finally confront them, it is no longer just about rescue or capture. It is about fear of the unknown. It's about a child that breaks every rule of science. Standing together, Henry and the alien woman refuse to back down. They are no longer predator and prey or subject and specimen. They are proof that everything both species believed was wrong. What started as an accidental trap in the jungle becomes the beginning of a new future. A future where misunderstanding no longer leads to war, or fear gives way to connection. And where the most dangerous thing about humanity isn't its strength or violence, but its ability to adapt, to love, and to change the universe in ways no one can control. The confrontation does not end in violence, but it doesn't end in peace either. The Alien Council takes them in, not in chains, but under watchful eyes and endless questions. Henry is studied like a mystery, and she is treated like a mistake that should never have happened. Cold halls replace warm jungle light. Scanners replace instinct. Yet no matter how much data they collect, one truth refuses to disappear. The life growing inside her is stable, healthy, and impossible to deny. Every test confirms it. This is not contamination. It's creation. As time passes, fear inside the council slowly turns into disbelief, then into awe. The child grows faster than expected, adapting with ease, combining traits from both species in perfect balance. Scientists argue, protocols fail, and old beliefs crack under the weight of living proof. Henry never leaves her side. His presence calms her, and the readings show it clearly. When he holds her hand, everything stabilizes. When he speaks to the child, her skin glows softly, responding in ways no machine can explain. The council finally realizes something uncomfortable. Humans were never primitive. They were simply different. Where the aliens relied on control and prediction, humans thrived on flexibility, emotion, and connection. Love, the thing they never measured, turns out to be the missing variable. The council debates for days, but the truth keeps winning. This child is not a threat. She's a bridge. When the baby is born, the room falls silent. Her skin shifts gently. Between soft human tones and alien violet, her eyes hold warmth and curiosity, not fear. In that moment, centuries of misunderstanding collapse. No weapon, no experiment, no war ever changed history this cleanly. One accidental trap did the decision. That follows reshapes everything. The council officially recognizes the union. Research policies are rewritten. Contact between species is no longer forbidden, only guided. Henry and his family are given a choice: return to Earth, stay among the aliens, or go back to the jungle. Where it all began, they choose the jungle. Their cabin becomes a meeting place, not a lab, not a prison, a home. Humans and aliens visit, talk, laugh, learn. Some arrive afraid, others curious. All leave changed. More unions follow. More children are born, each one different. Each one proof that the universe is bigger than rules. Sometimes at sunset, Henry still checks his traps, not for food, but out of habit. And every time, she smiles and reminds him how one simple mistake changed two worlds forever. What once looked like danger became destiny. And what began with fear became the greatest discovery either species ever made. Years pass, and the jungle that once hid fear now protects hope. The cabin grows larger, stronger, shaped by both human hands and alien design. Vines wrap gently around metal walls. Soft lights glow at night without harming the forest. A symbol, not just a home, but a promise that two worlds can exist together without destroying each other. Henry still lives simply, still walks barefoot through the dirt, still trusts instinct over rules. She stands beside him, wiser now, calmer. No longer running from what she is or what she chose. Their daughter grows quickly, learning faster than any child before her. She understands emotion before language, balance before strength. When she laughs, her skin shimmers. When she thinks, her eyes glow with quiet intelligence. Scientists come to observe, but now they ask permission. They don't demand. They don't trap, they listen. For the first time, human unpredictability is not feared, but respected. More visitors arrive over time. Some are couples. Some are skeptics. Some are leaders who once believed war was inevitable. They sit at Henry's table, drink the same simple tea, and hear the same story. A trap. A misunderstanding. A choice. Again and again, the lesson is, the same control never created progress. Connection did not everyone agrees. There are still voices that warn of danger, of chaos, of what happens when boundaries dissolve. Henry hears them, but he doesn't argue. He has never needed speeches to prove his point, just points to the jungle, to the home, to the child playing safely between two worlds. Reality speaks louder than fear ever could. Sometimes late at night, when the forest hums softly and the stars glow unfamiliar and beautiful, she rests her head on Henry's chest and asks him if he regrets it. Leaving Earth, setting the trap, choosing her, always answers the same way. If he hadn't set that trap, he would still be alive, but he wouldn't be living. And now he isn't just surviving on an alien world, belongs to it. What began as a mistake became a movement. What began as fear became family. And what once looked like a dangerous human predator turned out to be something far more powerful. A bridge. Long after the story spreads beyond the jungle, beyond the planet, and into distant systems, people still talk about the trap, not as a weapon, but as a symbol. In classrooms and councils, the tale is retold again and again. How fear was logical, how suspicion made sense, and how everything still changed when two individuals chose curiosity instead of violence. The universe had seen countless wars sparked by misunderstanding, but this was the first time misunderstanding gave birth to unity. Henry grows older, his body marked by time, but still strong, still steady. He never becomes a leader by title, never wears medals or uniforms again. Yet when humans and aliens argue, when fear threatens to rise, his name is spoken quietly with respect. He is proof that humanity's greatest strength was never domination, but resilience, the ability to adapt without losing compassion. She becomes something new as well, no longer just a scientist, no longer a rule breaker in secret. She helps reshape how knowledge itself is gathered. Observation now includes empathy. Research includes trust. Her people slowly accept that some truths cannot be forced out of the universe. They must be lived. Their daughter grows into a bridge in ways no one could have predicted. She moves easily between worlds, speaking both languages, understanding both instincts. Where others see difference, she sees possibility. And wherever she goes, the tension fades. just a little, enough to matter. And still, every morning, Henry walks the jungle paths. The traps are gone now, replaced by markers and trails, but sometimes he stops at the place where it all began, where fear once hung in a net, trembling and misunderstood. He smiles, knowing that the universe did not change because of technology, power, or conquest. It changed because one human chose not to be what others feared he was. The story does not truly end there. Peace never arrives all at once. It grows. Slowly, tested by doubt, fear, and old habits that refuse to die. Even as humans and aliens begin to work together, there are factions on both sides that whisper warnings. Some humans fear losing their identity. Some aliens fear losing control. And where fear exists, tension always follows. As the years pass, strange incidents begin to occur at the edges of settled regions. Small conflicts, sabotaged meetings, missing supplies. Nothing large enough to start a war, but enough to remind everyone how fragile trust still is. Henry senses it before anyone else does. He has lived long enough in isolation to recognize danger when it hides behind calm faces. The jungle taught him that silence is often louder than noise. One night, a group arrives at the cabin unannounced. Not scientists, not families. Guards. Their leader speaks politely, but his eyes never soften. He claims they are there to protect. The future Henry knows that phrase well. It usually means control. They ask questions about the child, about her abilities, about what she might become. They suggest moving her to a secure facility, a place where she can be properly guided. Henry refuses without raising his voice. He has never needed anger. To stand his ground, the air grows tense. His partner steps forward, her skin darkening slightly, not with fear, but with resolve. She reminds them that this child is not property, not data, and not a weapon. She is proof of cooperation. Taking her would undo everything they worked for. The standoff ends without violence, but the message is clear. The future will not be handed over easily. From that day on, the cabin is no longer just a home or a symbol. It becomes a quiet line in the sand. Their daughter senses the change before anyone explains it to her. She is still young, but her awareness is different. She feels emotions around her like weather. She asks questions no one expects. Why do people fear what they helped create? Why do rules matter more than life? Henry struggles to answer, not because he doesn't understand, but because he wishes the universe were simpler for her. As she grows, her abilities become clearer. She can calm aggressive creatures. She can stabilize technology that should fail. When tensions rise in meetings, her presence alone softens voices. Scientists begin to understand something extraordinary. She doesn't force harmony. She invites it, and people choose it. Slowly, resistance weakens. It's not because it is defeated, but because it becomes irrelevant. Cooperation works. Lives improve. Trade expands. Knowledge flows freely. Children like her are born into a universe that no longer tells them they are mistakes. One evening, as the sun sets over the jungle, Henry watches his daughter play near the trees, laughing with other children who would once have been considered impossible. He feels something rare. Not pride, not relief. Gratitude he did not save. The universe he simply chose not to be afraid. She joins him, resting her head against his shoulder, just as she did years ago. The jungle hums softly around them, alive and watchful. Once this world tested him, now it feels like it is thanking him. And somewhere far away, councils and governments still argue, still analyze data, still debate control. But out here beneath alien stars and human hands, the future is already being lived. All because one trap did not end the way anyone expected. The weeks that follow are quieter, but not peaceful. Silence carries weight now. Ships still pass overhead, farther away, watching without landing. Messages arrive from councils and human groups alike, filled with careful words and hidden intentions. Everyone wants access. Everyone wants assurance. And everyone wants to be the one in control. Henry reads them all, then sets them aside. Has learned that the most dangerous threats do not shout. They smile. Training begins naturally, without formal plans. Henry teaches survival, patience, and awareness. Not how to fight, but how to endure. How to read the land.
Ow.
How to know when to move and when to stay still.
Ow.
His daughter listens closely, learning faster than he ever did. She does not copy him exactly. She adapts the lessons, blending them with her own instincts. Watching her, Henry realizes something important. The future will not look like him or like her mother. It will look like something new. Her mother continues her work, but differently now. She no longer hides behind titles or protocols. She speaks plainly, even when it makes others uncomfortable. She reminds scientists that discovery without responsibility is just another form of harm. Some listen, others resist. But the data is undeniable. Cooperation works. Emotional intelligence matters. Human unpredictability, once seen as a flaw, is now recognized as a strength. Then comes the incident that changes everything. Distant Settlement reports a breakdown in negotiations between humans and aliens. Tensions rise fast. Armed escorts are requested. Observers fear the worst. Before anyone can react, Henry's daughter asks a simple question. Can we go? No one expected that. She is still young, but her voice carries certainty, not confidence. Purpose. Against every protocol they agree. At the settlement, fear hangs thick in the air. Two groups stand apart, armed, tired, and angry. One misunderstanding has grown into dozens. Henry feels it immediately. This is how wars begin. Not with hatred, but with exhaustion. Before anyone can stop her, the child steps forward. She does not speak at first. She simply stands between them. Her skin shifts softly, responding to the emotions around her. The air changes. Voices lower. Weapons dip slightly. When she finally speaks, her words are simple. You are both scared. You both want to protect your people. You forgot that listening is also protection. No threat, no command, just truth. The tension breaks, slowly, carefully. Conversations restart. Agreements form. The settlement does not become a battlefield. It becomes a lesson. News spreads fast after that, not of power, but of possibility. People stop asking what the child could become and start asking what they could change. Henry realizes the trap was never the most important moment. It was what came after. The choice to stay human, to stay kind, to stay open. That night, back in the jungle, Henry sits outside the cabin, staring at the stars. His daughter sits beside him, quiet. She asks if the universe will ever stop being afraid. Henry thinks for a long time before answering. Maybe not, he says, but it can learn. She smiles, leaning against him. And for the first time, Henry believes that learning might be enough.